welcome to Yarn Happy. If you were here last week for my first video and you're back, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. And if you're new, my name is Vanessa and yarn makes me happy. So if it does the same for you, then stick around and I think you'll like it here. This week I'm going to show you, I don't have any finished objects, unfortunately. The reason for that is that my ceiling fell in. I'm not kidding. Part of the ceiling actually fell in the hallway closet because the AC was leaking water and it just soaked it through enough that it fell through at 11:30 at night when we were almost asleep. So that was exciting. So yeah, that was probably Tuesday, and we spent a couple of days after that mostly just trying to work around the wreckage and go through the closet and dust off everything with all the insulation everywhere. And the AC pipe has now been cleared, and there's still a hole in the ceiling, but that is better than the AC actually dying like it did last summer. I would rather have a hole in the ceiling, and it'll be fixed pretty soon. So I'm not too worried about it. So back to business as usual. I did not finish the Snowberries Winter Hood like I had planned this week. It's a pretty quick workup, so I thought I would be able to get it done, or at least mostly done. But I did make pretty good progress. So here it is. Let's make sure this is right side up. Yeah. So we're about 3.5 skeins in, and I'll probably get, I'm gonna guess, halfway through the 5th one before it's done. And it's kind of neat. Like, it's a DK weight, but it works up super thick, like a chunky weight, because you work the rows kind of on top of each other, and so they stack up and get really thick. So it's kind of neat for a winter hood. And I like the pattern's pretty clear. The only thing I would change if you were making this, she has you start by working the shells and puffs straight into the starting chain, which, I mean, if you want to hate yourself, you can do that. Or you can do a row of foundation single crochet and work into that instead. It's a heck of a lot easier, and you can see your stitches, and it really doesn't change the bottom row that much. Like, I mean, it doesn't look like there's a whole extra row there. So do that, make your life easier. And then she doesn't, because it's such a yarn eater, I wish that she gave more accurate of a gauge. She gives a sort of gauge for the width, but not for the length, which that's where, you know, you're really gonna use up a lot of yarn, is getting to, she just does to make it 24 inches long. Well, if you're using a tighter stitch, or if you crochet tight, you're gonna use a lot more. So my hair is being crazy. So yeah, that is kind of like, because it's such a yarn eater, I wish that she would give more accurate gauge, but it's not that big of a project, so you're not going to get that far off. So not too big of a deal. But other than that, the pattern's pretty clear. Haven't really had any trouble following it. So I'm enjoying that. I did decide to, I was at Joann's this week, you know, as you do. And I decided to buy some lining for it because I do actually want to wear that in the wintertime here in Arizona. It does get cool in the evenings and mornings, and you know, if we're out walking the dogs or something. I do wear ear warmers because I am a big baby and my ears get cold. So I bought some lining for it, which I think will look nice with this color. And it's kind of a suede look. See how it kind of has that sheen? So it's really, really soft, and I think it'll be pretty luxe feeling, because that is a merino silk wool. So I think it'll be really nice. And the original pattern, as you can see, has long ties with tassels on the end. And I'm not going to do that either because I just know myself, I don't really like that sort of thing. So I'm going to buy a toggle closure and do that instead. So I'm excited for that. I should be able to finish the rectangle probably today, if not tomorrow, and at least start blocking it out. I'm going to block the rectangle, wash the fabric, and then I'll attach the lining, probably just hand sew it because yeah, I don't think you could put that through a machine. That would be hell, and I don't want to get my machine out anyway. So I'll just hand sew it on and then do kind of all the finishing work, attach the fur and, you know, do the bottom border and everything. So next, I did not work on the fruits blanket this week, so I won't show you anything for that. You've already seen that. So next, I'm going to show you a work in progress that I'm going to get back to. I kind of shelved this for a while because it's a pretty huge project. It ended up being way bigger. Speaking of gauge, ended up being way bigger than I originally planned. But I'm not mad about it because I was able to get more yarn for it, and we are planning on getting a king size bed pretty soon. So it'd be nice to have a probably king size blanket. It is the Peacock Beauty interlocking blanket. So here is my progress on that. Kind of try to show you the whole thing. It is 70 inches across, so pretty massive. And I mean, that's the width, so the length is going to be crazy. This is just barely touching the start of the design. So yeah, that's going to take me a while to get through. I'm going to make as much progress as I can this month on this so I can kind of knock out two big projects. The fruits blanket and the peacock blanket are two pretty big projects to have going together. But I'm using Caron crystal cakes for this, and these are the ones I'm working with right now. But I did bring one with the ball band so that you can kind of see that, and I'll give you the stats on it. These were at Michael's. They're discontinued now, although you can still find some on Hirschner's. I saw them the other day. They don't have all the colors. They do have the peacock color though, which, yeah, it's called Peacock, which is perfect for my peacock blanket. But the other color I'm using is called Shea Butter, and they don't have this one. They do have a color on Hirschner's, Rattan, which I really, really liked. Not gonna buy it, but it's a really pretty color that I coveted. But I bought these instead. So this is 240 grams, 634 yards, acrylic, polyester, nylon, and metallic. So no wool, which is fine for a massive blanket like that. Just being able to throw it in the washer is probably going to be the best. If it'll fit, we'll see. Might have to hand wash it anyway. So yeah, I have 12 of these, and I'm probably going to use almost all of them. So that's like over 7,000 yards, probably 7,500 yards. We'll see if I use how much of the last cakes I actually use, but according to my calculations, I'm going to need pretty much all of them. But better to have a little more than a little less. Now, whenever Caron Cakes was going on clearance, I made a mistake and did not buy this color when I first saw it on sale. And when I went back looking for these, they only had one. And this, I just got this down to show you because I'm so mad at myself for not buying more of these. This is just like black, what do they call it? Lava rock. But this is just so cool, and I'm very disappointed that I only have one, but I'm sure I'll find something great to put it. I mean, 600 yards, so that's not like nothing, you know. Usually for a 4-weight, that'd be like 3 regular skeins. These are a little bit, well, I'll pull this one out because it already has some off here. So for a 4-weight, it's quite thin, it probably is more like a DK, but I'm using a 5.5, so it's working up very drapey, and not too solid. Um, so yeah, it does have that fuzz to it, which gives it a little more volume. So I guess that's where the 4 weight comes in, but it's very thin to work with. So I like that. So if you do want to get some of those, they do still have them at Hirschner's. I don't know how much, probably limited stock, but I think they were only like $6.99 or something. So anyway, that's all I had to show you for what I'm working on. So next, I'm going to show you my yarn that arrived that I mentioned ordering last week. So this is my first order from Lovecrafts, and I believe, I might be wrong about this because I'm just remembering this off the top of my head, but I think Lovecrafts recently purchased Webs, which I've made several orders from Webs. I think I'm right because I have noticed a lot of the same exact brands on Webs on Lovecrafts that I don't think used to be there. So just a little tidbit of information there. But anyway, this is my first order from Lovecrafts. I was very tempted by this yarn. This is Willow and Lark Heath in the color Sea Glass, and I almost didn't buy it because I looked, usually when it's a new yarn to me, and if I'm looking for kind of a color to coordinate with something I already have, I'll look it up on Ravelry and see what other people have made, kind of see how the color looks in real life. So on my computer screen, it looked like this. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. But then when I looked on Ravelry, it looked a lot darker, and I was like, well, I don't know if it's gonna work with the yarns I want to pair it with if it's darker. I decided to just go for it because I figured if it didn't work, it's very pretty anyway, I might be able to make it work, and if not, well, I'll just buy something else, you know? I mean, simple as that. So yeah, in the end, I just decided to get it. And I'm glad I did because I wanted to pair it with this Cloudborn brushed alpaca, and I have a sweater that I want to make, and I've got 4 colors, and they kind of match the Tweety bits in this. So this is a wool and acrylic viscose blend, which the viscose is the little Tweety bits in there. I don't know if you call them nips, but anyway, that's what that is, and it has like that exact blue in there. And so I thought originally, based on the pictures on Ravelry, that it looked like this color. So I thought, well, if they match too close, maybe I can still make it work. At least the texture is different, but this actually is perfect because it's not, it has a nice contrast, and then it has the perfect color of blue. So very happy about that. And then the next color of the brushed alpaca, and just in case I didn't mention, the brushed alpaca is 47% alpaca, 46 wool, 7% polyamide. And it is kind of that real thin string with the fuzz on it, like that. But it has the exact color of yellow, so that was really nice. And then the next color I have is green, which the green is harder to see in this. Let me see if I can find like a side that has more green on it. You see? Okay, that, yeah, you can see that. So that's really nice. And then the only color, I wasn't worried about this color, but it turns out this color doesn't really work with it, which is okay. The red in this is just a little too red, I think. This is Poppy Heather, and it's just a little too pink. Some of my hair on it. Just a little too pink, I think. Doesn't quite blend. So I have plenty with the other 3 colors. So the sweater I want to make is, now I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it on the screen and show the picture so you can kind of see the general design. I will do it a little bit differently because the stripes are, I believe they're puff stitches, and I don't really want to do puff stitches with this kind of fuzzy yarn, so I'll think of something else, but I'm gonna follow that general shape and design and like color design for it. So I think that'll be really fun. I'll probably start that after August when I've made some progress on the blankets, because I need to get moving on those so that they don't flounder forever. And then the only other thing I bought was this lonely little guy. This is Shapey's River Washed, which I adore this yarn. It is 78% cotton, 22% acrylic, and I just love the little halo on this. And I love Stonewashed as well. One of my favorite yarns, kind of has that nice rustic look to it, but it's like white with the halo of color, and these are two colors meshed together. And these I'm collecting for another interlocking blanket that I plan on making, but I'm not going to start that until probably after the holidays in the new year. That'll be kind of like a big project I'll start then, but I'll show you that later. But as I collect my little skeins of yarn, it's very multicolored, I will show them to you. So I'm excited about that. And well, I think that's all that I have today. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe to see more of what I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks. And I'm really enjoying this, so I hope you guys are too. And leave me a comment, let me know what you think, let me know something you would like to see, any ideas that you have, and we'll see you next week. Bye!